Echo now.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready to go?
Not yet, sir. We're just getting YouTube going.
Okay, it's saying on my screen that we're live on YouTube.
Mine also said it's live.
Okay, Mr. Chair, you can proceed.
Okay, good morning. This is the Personnel and Human Services Committee of the Berrien County Board of Commissioners. It's June 17th. We have a packed agenda, and we are also periodically having a little technical stuff because we've got a new system that we're using for the first time. So we also have several additions to our agenda. So Shelley, if you please would call the roll.
Yes. Commissioner Harrison,
Present via Zoom from Lincoln Township.
Commissioner Majerick,
Present via Zoom, City of Niles.
Commissioner Bell.
Present via Zoom from the city of St. Joseph.
Mr. Chair, you have 3 present.
Okay, so we have a quorum and we'll proceed with our business for today. The first item on our agenda is the approval of our minutes from June 3rd of this year. Those have been sent out to us previously. Commissioners, any changes or alterations that you feel are indicated?
No, but I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I support.
Okay, we've got a motion duly made and support to approve the minutes as distributed. Shelley, please call the roll.
Commissioner Majerick,
Yes.
Commissioner Bell,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 3 yeas.
Okay, minutes are now approved. So the next item on our agenda is the approval of the monthly pension refunds rollover requests. This is one of the obligations of the committee. And these are individuals who have separated from county employment. Typically, they're in departments like the courthouse, Riverwood, the sheriff's department, and the like. Those have been sent out to us. Any questions regarding that list that was sent to us, gentlemen?
No, Mr. Chair, I so move that we accept the pensions refunds.
I second the motion.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve those as presented to us. Again, these are monies from the individuals. They're not involving any county money. So Shelley, if you'd please call the roll.
Commissioner Bell,
Yes.
Commissioner Majerick,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 3 yeas.
Good. So the monthly pension refunds are now approved. Next on our agenda, our review and discussion. We've got 2 resolutions listed on our agenda, and then we're adding a third, is my recollection. This relates to Kresge grant that we've previously approved a submission by the Health Department, and now that's indicating approval from Kresge. And so we're in a position where we need to accept that grant award. We don't need as my recollection is we do not need a motion for these resolutions. So any discussion or questions, committee members? So it would appear that we have concurrence on those. And so with no further discussion, we'll just accept those as presented. They'll be going to the Board of Commissioners. Some of them, are they all going, 2 are going today and then 1 next week? Is that the plan?
Yes.
Okay, so the Kresge one would go at our next meeting, not the one today.
Correct.
Okay, then we'll move forward. And so do you want to do the advanced step higher request first and then go to Annette and her presentation?
Sure.
Okay, Shelley, if you could give us that discussion about the advanced step higher request from the courthouse.
Yes, so the Civil Criminal Division had a vacancy for an administrative assistant to the Criminal Civil Division Manager. The position was posted, applications were accepted, interviews conducted. The court has selected an individual and they would like to bring her in at grade 7, step 5, based on previous experience. She was most previously employed at Riverwood as a program support person and has a bachelor's degree, so far exceeds the minimum qualifications for the position that she's being hired for.
Okay, commissioners, questions of Shelley regarding this request from the courthouse?
Is this going to be this a step grade above the position that the person left?
No, the budgeted position is 51,482. That represents the step the person was at who resigned. They're asking to bring this individual in at step 5, which is 46,695. So it's below where the prior incumbent was.
Do we have to vote on each one of these, even if they're under budget?
We've always done that, whether it's a true legal requirement, I'm not honestly sure. It's just been standard practice that each request comes to PHSC. If you'd like me to look into that further, I'd be glad to do that.
Commissioners, your thoughts? Or would you like Shelley to investigate that for us? I'm comfortable looking at these just so there's clarity about what we're doing. So I'm okay.
I'm fine. I just want to know why. If it's been, that's okay. It doesn't hurt. And I just wondered if we have to be looking at everybody that's coming in, especially to replace somebody.
But this would only be the ones being hired up in the salary schedule would be the only rationale for us. Otherwise, we're hiring people, they're coming in at the entry level salary.
Okay, I guess I got it now.
Okay. And so this would be an increase for this individual over what she was making at Riverwood, though, would it not, Shelley?
I don't know what her salary was at Riverwood. It looks like it's slightly less.
Okay. All right. So that's fine. Commissioners, are you ready for a motion on this request?
I'll make that motion that we increase the steps from her previous Riverwood position.
I support.
Okay, we've got a motion duly made and supported to approve the advanced step hire request from the courthouse. Shelley, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Majerick,
Yes.
Commissioner Bell,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 3 yeas.
Okay, so the request is hereby approved. Next, we'll go to a presentation from our technical guru, Annette Christie, regarding committee overview presentation. This is fascinating information that she sent out to us. I poured over it at length and learned a lot. So I'm sure both committee members, other committee members also had a chance to review it. So Annette, the floor is yours.
Why don't we try now, you using both your computer and your Zoom, and then I'll try to turn mine on.
Okay. So commissioners, I'm going to mute this laptop, turn the volume off. Annette will take over with volume and audio.
Okay.
Okay, how does this sound? Is that okay? Okay. All right, so. Okay. So as we get ready to go back into having regular committee meetings as a part of our Thursday morning business,
We just thought that it would be a good tool for you to have to kind of talk about how that all proceeds. We do have a couple of new commissioners who actually have not done this process in the normal standard way that we have done in the past. So basically, each committee, there's 3 parent committees. Each one of those works with the county administrator and their designated staff to proceed with the business that is required of them in the mornings on their regular days. There's a specific category, which we're going to get into later, of departments and outside agencies that sort of fall under the purview of each various committee. So resolutions that come out of the committees are because of those specific areas that fall within their oversight. Those resolutions are reviewed and moved to the board through the committees. In the case of a night meeting, usually our standard practice has been to not have the night meetings unless there's specific business that has to be covered by those. And just out of your bylaws, the only one committee's signature is required to bring a resolution out of committee to the full board. The vice chair people are selected annually. I'm going to skip over the finance committee, but you would have that in your presentation if you wanted to look at that later. So for personnel, this committee advises the BOC on respect for personnel issues, kind of like what you were just doing with Shelley, salaries, benefits, labor negotiations, employee complaints, and those other matters associated with that. The bylaws and the rules of procedure goes through the personnel committee. Those are done, and this is actually from your bylaws. They shall be reviewed no less frequently than in odd number of years in the month of November. And then I listed the following departments that also report to PHSC. So this structure was put together as part of the board's bylaws. It says that the administrator's office shall maintain a list of the various committees that are that report to PHSC. You'll see those in there. This is agencies and departments. So this isn't just, our various like personnel and GIS and those kinds of things, but there's outside ones that come and talk to you as well. The reporting schedule was done a couple of years ago. This is one of those things that typically would have been reviewed by the parent committee at their first meeting of the year. They would have talked about schedules and that kind of thing, how often they wanted to see people to come to give regular reports. And that's what that column is for. Then there's also, like within the health department, let's say there's a sewage appeals board, and the well and septic kind of fall under that area, but also would then come to PHSC. Your to-do list outside of resolutions is very similar to what Shelley just did. Pension rollover and reimbursements. The monthly per diem report comes through PHSC, advanced step hires, and then we're going to do a board appointment here in a moment for a recommendation, and then policies and procedures. I'm going to skip over admin. So the committee meetings are housed in the various conference rooms here at the administration center on a standard Thursday morning at 9:15. And you'll see that PHSC is in conference room 4B, and then the location of the other 2 committees. We also will be looking to roll out the committee of the whole meetings. Again, we don't think we have a set date yet exactly as to when those are going to go back into place, but those are held in the Thursday mornings at 8:35 here, also in the administration's building in the Board of Commissioners room. The intent of this meeting was to set up an opportunity for our administrator to talk about things that are have a wide scope that would fall and just needs to be provided to all of the full board without having to go to every single committee and have those same conversations 3 times on a Thursday morning. So that was the intent of this meeting. Once we resume that, then that agenda is created out of the administrator's office. And typically is needed to be flexible so that as topics may come up that need to be addressed on a specific day, we can kind of move that in there. So scheduled discussion is the standard item that you would see listed on that agenda. action is not taken at that meeting, other than approving the minutes. So it's the only thing that you do there. And then we will also be getting back into the requisition review. So that requisition review is the full board resolution that's done every week and has all the requisitions that are over $5,000. Those are that we have that part of the committee of the whole meeting so that the whole board can ask questions with regard to specific requisitions that they may have. And then that's approved at the full board that same day. And so there's the standard agenda that we would have for the committee of the whole meeting. And that is all. I'm gonna go
Commissioners,
ahead
any
and-
questions of Annette or Brian regarding what we're going to start back doing here in the month of July?
No,
Okay, I know Commissioner Bell, you probably, not having been through this, also at the committee meetings, typically the chair of the board as well as the administrator would drift in and address any issues that the committee might have. Is that still the plan? Okay, that's good. That was nice. Okay, if there's no questions of Annette or Brian, then do you want to proceed with the next item on our agenda? I'm sensing a yes.
Yeah. Yes, sir. 1 second.
So you were sent an application for an individual to be appointed to workforce development. Workforce development is another one of those agencies that we appoint to, but it is more of a confirming appointment versus we advertise for it, we accept applications, and then we go through that process. This one doesn't fall under that. There are private sector and public sector positions on this board. Commissioner Harrison, you're very familiar with this. This is as you served on this prior. So they had a vacancy for an individual and that had not been filled yet. But Paula at Workforce Development has now sent that to us for Brady Cohen to fill that vacancy. This is a private sector position. And I would like to take this to the full board then next week if we can, if I have the recommendation from PHSC to do so.
Commissioners, any questions? My recollection is each of the 3 counties in the workforce area then would do something similar. You appoint the individuals from your county to the board. And then we have Commissioners Yarborough and Meeks serving as our county representatives on that board. Okay, do you want a motion to appoint Mr. Cohen to this?
I just need a recommendation to move Mr. Cohen's appointment to the full board of commissioners. So yes, I will take a motion for that.
Okay, gentlemen, someone willing to make a motion?
I will make that motion.
I support.
Okay, we've got a motion duly seconded. So Shelley, would you please call the roll?
Certainly. Commissioner Majerick,
Yes,
Commissioner Bell,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 3 yeas.
Okay, so this will be moving forward. It's approved and will be moving forward to the board for consideration at their next meeting. Okay, so based on my agenda, we're ready for public comments now. And how many people are watching our activities this morning? Are we able to?
Sir, you're up to 4.
We're up to 4. Okay, wow. Climbing very slowly up to 4. Did you have some other items you'd like to talk to us about, Mr. Doucette, while we're looking for public comment?
Yes. Before I address those, if each of you have a friend or family member dial in, we can boost our numbers up to 8. So just an idea. So Commissioner Majerick had reached out to the group expressing some interest in learning more about the nonprofit Carol's Hope. I spoke with the chair this morning. Typically, we don't have nonprofits come in and make presentations to the committee, just knowing that it will invariably lead to a pretty lengthy line of people who are making funding requests. I toured the Carol's Hope facility, and I think they've got a pretty good story to tell. Suggests similar to what admin has been doing, scheduling just a work session where you go out, you don't take any formal action, but you do take a tour and learn more about a topic. If this group's interested in arranging an on-site tour with Carol's Hope, I'll happily work with you all to make that happen. So let me know if that is desired.
I visited Carol's Hope already with Don Meeks.
Okay.
As representatives of Riverwood, because they reached out to us and they asked at the time if they could give a presentation or show to the group. And I said, we really have no control over your funding. That would come from SWIMBA. And it doesn't even come from Riverwood. And but they still asked if they could speak to us to let them know how they're doing. They're only a few years old, but they're already making a connection with the people in Benton Harbor and St. Joe. So I don't know if we have to see them take a whole tour, but it is an interesting place. If you have a chance, Harrison, maybe Bell, you could stop on your own. I don't know if we have to take a whole visit committee going there to look at it, but it's maybe it's a 10-minute, maybe 5-minute look around, and they give you explanation what's going on. It's pretty interesting, but I'm not sure to take a whole group. I just said I would bring it to you guys because they asked me to bring it in front of the board if we have any presentations going on again. And I know we're going to be loaded because we haven't been in session for over a year with all the other groups that we have. And the administrator or chairman is correct. We let everybody in, but it's an interesting group. I know they need funding. The state cut them back, but I explained to them that with the new stimulus package coming through and the care package, they should be getting more funding than they had last year.
Well, to the group, what's your pleasure? I can arrange time for the committee to go out, or if you'd like, we can just do it on an individual basis. I did take the tour myself. I was impressed with their mission. So happy to go back, but also happy to follow the lead of the committee.
Yeah, I think that well, first I appreciate Commissioner Majerick bringing this to the board's attention. I think I could go either way. Either there could be a schedule of a tour, or I can swing by there myself and check it out, because from you guys' testimony, I guess it is a pretty interesting place, and it'll probably get me up to speed with what's going on out there.
Would you like to, I'm comfortable going back. I was there at the open house when they first opened, but it would be good to see the progress over the last probably 2 or 3 years. So maybe if you set up a time for Commissioner Bell and I to go, and then invite other board members who might be interested in attending, I'd be fine with that. Does that sound okay, Commissioner Bell?
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Bell, Commissioner Harrison is always going on about his love of fast food, so we could knock out a couple of things.
Yeah.
Sure.
I do have some Culver's certificates, so we could do that.
Okay. I'll follow up with Mindy at Carol's Hope, and we'll work to to get a date time that works for the two of you. And then once we've got that established, I'll let the full board know if anyone else wants to jump in.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, Annette, public comments for us today.
She stated there's no public comments.
Okay, well then, it sounds like technology's working all right. You know, well, I mean, progress. So, yeah, the big rooms from our view here is kind of dark. So, and you know, if you can zoom in on some people, so we see your smiling faces, that'd be good. But audio seems to, you figured that out. So, all in all, progress. So if not, then we'll adjourn the meeting and we'll see the commission